Hello, welcome to the Augmentation of Man with Kent and Renee Miller.
Today, we're going to cover truth, death, and wars. Three events.
Three events that are coming and upon us at this time, according to our spiritual guides who have been telling us that there is war coming and there is going to be an exponential increase in the death rate, and that that the truth is coming out. So all these, there's three major events that humanity is going to be pushed through at this period of time.
It's negative energy, human, and increases and destabilizes the world.
And so this was what our guides have recently, well, it wasn't recently. This was part of an older meditation that talked about this negative energy increasing and destabilizing everything. When they talk about negative energy, though, they talk about it in the sense of controlling the flow of information, controlling truth, and how negative entities will divert the truth, cover up
the governments of the world.
Right. And so now we're looking at this government surprise that's supposed to release the truth.
But it's going to be like a coffee percolator, a small drip at a time.
And they're talking about this arterial infusion in the human event. So when I think of, as you know, my background is nursing, when I think about an arterial infusion, I'm thinking about an IV. Okay, it's going into, something's going into the artery. It's being directly injected into the human event, whatever is going on. And it, from what we understand, is going to reveal the total control of consciousness that has been happening with this skew of, well, we did it to protect you or
keep you alive, etc.
There's an excuse behind it, creating this supportive path mindset,
creating a perception of reasoning, which is there.
Yeah. So it will be an excuse of why they've been controlling the consciousness. But what's going to happen?
Oh, hell break loose from it.
Mm-hmm.
So each individual, each human will have one truth to perceive the outcome of the event, because everybody's an individual and everyone has their own perception. And so each one will perceive the outcome of an event.
And the truth they're saying, our guides are saying, is being guided by the misrepresentation of perception. So a lot of this falls into the government territory, where they are leading us to believe one thing when in actuality it's another.
These are governments we're speaking about around the world.
Around the world,
not just the U.S.
Right.
So this is going to cause more insurrection in not only the U.S. but worldwide.
Mm-hmm. And so that truth is what is going to lead to an angering of the people and insurrection.
Well, it'll cause those that have been what we call asleep
to awaken,
to begin to awaken, thinking what is going on.
And this was revealed by our guidance also, is that this is a part of our awakening to be able to finally, that the masses will finally see what has been going on under our noses while we think something else is happening.
So while all this is happening, there's going to be much sickness. There's going to be a plague. Hospitals around the world will be overwhelmed. Now, we don't know if that's already happened or the variant is coming to cause this.
So there's an India variant that we're watching, because our guidance is saying that this increase in death is going to happen exponentially. We don't know what the true cause of it is, if it can be even identified as one thing, because we also have war coming. So is it a compilation of things that are happening to create the death rate to really increase?
Yeah, we were told the original virus will die out. But these
However,
virulence will,
it's the variants that are taking its place now. So now we're looking at this India variant that is looking to be much stronger. And once that arrives in other countries and starts to spread throughout the world,
it'll morph
what is that going to do?
It'll morph into different viruses because it is much stronger than the original.
Right. And the guidance has said that originally that the original one was created by man. So that led us to ask the question, what about HIV? And the answer to that was one of many.
In other words, man have created not only HIV, but one of many viruses.
And it's
before and after that.
It's looking at the possibility that there is an attempt to depopulate the world.
Yeah, so our guides say, be aware, be prepared. We've been saying this for some time now, trying to tell people to be aware, be prepared. A mass exodus is coming from the earth. So be prepared for the survival of the species of human beings.
So how do we do that?
Well, we can't let down our guard. We have to be prepared. We got to stock up on medical supplies if you need it. Do your research. We have been saying over and over and over again, do your research, especially for medical herbs. They are so important now at this point in time to improve our immunity.
Yes. And, you know, when you stop to think about, a lot of the worst case scenarios are from low levels of vitamin D, low levels of vitamin C, low selenium, low quercetin. This tells me that this is a diet issue that we are not properly, we're not getting the proper nutrition that we need from our diet. And that is a combination of all the fast food and the modern foods that we're eating today that are lacking nutrition, plus our farming. Big farm is not allowing for the natural regeneration of the nutrients in the soil, depleting the soil. So our food supply is significantly lower in nutrition than it was back in the 1950s.
Yeah.
So it's important to, one, eat healthily, and that includes increasing the amount of fruits and vegetables in your diet and adding those needed supplements. Plus, when you start to factor in the herbal medicine, and you can take it prophylactically when you think you have been exposed to reduce your chances of really getting sick. I highly recommend this book, Herbal Antivirals, and it has a companion book called Herbal Antibiotics. But if you can't afford both, I would recommend getting this one, Herbal Antivirals.
Who's the author of that?
This is
series?
Stephen Herod Buhner. It's available on Amazon.
Yeah, so we need to improve our immunity to fight viral infections, to fight anti-parasitic infections, and anti-malarials. Will
Those
help
are
in fighting all these virals.
Very effective at these things that we're facing today.
This is a good book. So
it is, the book is complicated. I will say that,
Take your
but
time
the
and read it
information
slow.
is in there.
Yeah.
It at least gives you the herbs for those things that we're facing, and it gives you dosing. So I really
Yeah.
recommend it, even if you don't understand some of the complexity of, it gets into chemicals and,
Yeah,
you know,
we get most of our herbs online, different health organizations.
Mountain Rose Herbs is a real good one. They've got a huge stock, a huge inventory, and I do a lot of my ordering from them. Plus, most of their herbs are organic, so you don't want to be tincturing or taking herbs that have been sprayed with pesticides.
So all this tells us in the end, it'll bring back a new understanding of truth, and it should restart humanity as we know it, setting us back on the path of learning, in which we have been talking about for years.
Mhm.
This is a learning experiential field that we're in. So learning and a greater understanding of why we're here or what we're supposed to know.
So if this is an experiential learning field, according to our spiritual guides, and all of creation was designed for our expanding enlightenment, then our focus here should be the learning and our greater consciousness.
Now, war will come. And you say, well, what kind of war? Well, our guides say Iran is going to impute upon the earth complete control. In other words, war will begin and then Iran will do what it's going to do. They're not going to start the world war, but the upper ones, not when the leaders of the world governments. The guides say they use the words putrid, like it's rotten. And they literally cannot stop what they're doing. So soon Iran will open the eyes of those that did not want to see or did not believe. And then all hell, nervous anxiety. And we said, well, why Iran?
And I think people will be asking why Iran, and part of it is
but they're
because
missing the
we've
whole
all
picture
had
of war happening before Iran steps in. There are those that are bringing war. Iran is just supporting them. We don't see, I did not see Iran as starting the war. There are going to be those outside of Iran, peoples that are living in other countries that are going to begin this war. That was the reason we thought Iran would initiate the first strike, but that was not it. Nor the Israelis. But it will be instigated by people living in countries
outside of those
two countries that will begin this war.
And our guidance has said that it'll be instigated for the purpose of revenge of an articulate matter, an event on past time.
Yeah, these people don't have a country per se.
Well, we don't know who these people are that are going to instigate it.
But it's not a country.
But it's being propagated for revenge, and it is based on events that have happened in the past.
Well, Israel, what's going on is now and will become even more frustrated from what's going on. And they basically said their backs will be to the sea. That is metaphoric, what they're speaking about. And
meaning that there'll probably be so many other countries that are against them that they'll be surrounded and backed up where their backs are to the sea.
Then they will make a mistake. Israel will make a mistake, and the world will say, we condemn you, and then they will have no other choice.
Yeah, the guidance has said that that Israel will not have another choice in the matter, but that it will result in an overstep and that it will be a mistake, but they're backed up in a corner,
And
basically.
Renee asked, well, why these tensions have continued for so long?
The answer was overbearance of hostility passed down through the ages for no logical reason. Now, I would interpret that to mean this is being passed on generationally from parents to children to grandchildren. The hostility, the anger, the hatred toward the Israelis is being generated with no specific reason.
It's like passing down a story or a legend
Mhm,
that to the children after a while believe
mhm.
the story.
And they don't probably, the children couldn't recite why they have that hatred or that hostility because it
Yeah.
was taught to them
Well,
at such a young
They'll pick
age.
up something they see right now, which
Mhm.
really doesn't call for the amount of violence that's created.
Mhm.
So the tensions will cause escalation, leading to a war of conquest. The war began because of I'm going to get back at you type thing, but it will escalate to a point of the conquest over land and the people, bringing the world to its knees.
And the US will eventually be brought in on it.
In Russia and China. No,
But Russia and China are looking at it more as the territorial land grab or manipulation of people, seizure of land and people. And so we were told that Russia would invade the Middle East.
they will stay in the Middle East area.
While China, their focus is going to be on the US.
Now, when they said China invade the US, we're not sure. If our own leaders selling out to China or a military invasion, we're not sure which. I really think it's our leaders selling out to China and giving them the okay to do whatever they need to do.
That's very pervasive throughout the world, where a lot of leaders have been bribed by China for whatever reasons, and the US is not excluded in that. The other thing that we have to consider is, are we going to be invaded through our technology?
Yeah, our technology.
So there's variables there. We don't really know how that is going to take place, but we're passing this information on, and you guys can apply that in ways that you see as you are doing your research.
Yeah. So what's going to bring an end to the war? We were told that people, not the leaders, but people will say enough is enough. And they will basically throw out all these leaders in the world. Because the people themselves, the people of the world, do not want war. They want peace. And it's the leaders that are causing war.
Mm-hmm. What our guidance has said is that it's through a beginning surrendering, but it is a new approach to the ego. And it is to quote our guides, a one out will be held by the people, overwhelming the leaders. So it's going to be a new approach to how the people regain control.
Yeah, and when the people regain control, things will begin to really change. The guys were saying we are embarking on a journey to the future.
The repercussions will be many, they have said, but the end adventure will be the widespread learning that we gain out of all these events.
So give your incidents to the leaders of tomorrow, and trust in them. They're not here yet. They're
coming.
Yes.
And incidents in this sense is the range of influence. So give the range of influence to the leaders of tomorrow and trust in them, because they're going to be great leaders.
Yeah,
and they're going to lead humanity into a new era that is one that we can look forward to, even though we're bringing news that is not going to be welcomed by people. Once we get through all of this, we are going to have lasting and enduring peace, acceptance of one another and others outside of the earth, who will come to be our teachers and bring new technology and new understanding.
The vision of war for these new leaders will sicken them. They're really young right now. Will sicken them, and they'll say no more. That's it. We're going to be leaders of the people, for the people, and by the people, which was original leadership was supposed to be.
So we hope that you have gained a new understanding of where we're going in the immediate future.
There is a future.
And longer term, how things are going to turn out. This is a journey about learning. Everything is vibrational. So all events are thinking processes, everything is vibrational at its smallest level. And we have to learn about all things vibrationally. And that includes the vibration of war, the vibration of sickness, as well as peace and health.
Stand for humanity. Stand for united humanity. Be strong. It's not going to be easy these next few years of coming. Stand for your beliefs in humanity, and we'll all make it through.
And don't let down your guard. Everybody is tired with the pandemic that we have been enduring, and the new cases and hospitalizations and death rates are dropping like a rocket. However, we're being told that there is something around the corner. It's coming soon. It's stronger. And we urge you to prepare for that, to have all the supplies that you need. We've already been through it, so you know what to do. You know what you need. Go stock up on it, because you will need it again. And this one will be worse than the first one.
And possibly learn how to tincture. Maybe we can do a video sometime how to tincture, but learn how to tincture. You're never too old to learn herbal medicine.
There are lots of books out there. However, you can buy tinctures online.
Okay. With that, thank you.
I think that might be the safest bet, unless you can go to a class.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. We hope you got something out of this discussion.
Peace be with you. And thank you for joining us. Have a good day. Bye-bye now.